Hello, everybody. It's episode 4, and Sean has promised me a couple of things, and he's probably forgotten. The pictures he has on YouTube of me are just, let's just say I look like some kind of person invaded my face and twisted it around. Hopefully he can find a little better picture of me. Just a caricature would be better than some of these. Anyway, I'm Jane, and welcome to episode 4. Over here is
Mike. Hello.
Mike, and we're going to talk about what we did. We had the chance to go to the inauguration, and we got all excited, right, Mike? We got all excited, and we accidentally went. I always say that, and you say it's not an accident. I mean, you didn't even know that the text was real.
Well, yeah. So I got a text from somebody, and it was somebody that we had met in Mar-a-Lago in 2022, but I didn't know if it was real because it wasn't the same phone number that I had for that person.
Anyway, so there's a bunch of scams. And so he's, and I don't know why I didn't get it because,
we were together.
Yeah. And so I was like,
but I got it because I'm special.
And he got it because he kept in touch with said person at Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
I am just, because because we're friends, I guess he thought he was going to, not really. But anyway, really nice ladies. I met her at the hair salon.
Yep.
And then we met again at the reception at Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Mike looked great. He had on his black hat and his vest. And I mean, he looked really Texan. And we went to the American Freedom Tour, or the Trump Victory Ball. And a lot of the balls, how many were? We never did find out how many there were.
Never did figure out, but there was a bunch of them. Well, we didn't go to a bunch of them, but there were a bunch of them.
There was the Liberty Ball.
Bluegrass Ball.
Celeste went to the Liberty Ball.
Yeah.
And that's one, there's 3 of them, the Commander-in-Chief's Ball, and then there's one more where Trump shows up. And Celeste went to the one, and Celeste is not feeling well. So she, if you'll see, she's not there. But she did send pictures of, her and her husband that went. And, but our ball was very small. Those balls are huge. They're 2,000, 3,000 people at those kind of balls.
And they're $10,000 a person.
A person, yeah. if you go. So we didn't pay that because unless you guys hurry up and subscribe and do things you're supposed to do, and I can monetize you and you can ask me questions, then I'll be able to go, and I will be more than happy to bring you along with me. Anyway, so we go and we check into the hotel. My godson, who lives in DC, came to pick us up, took us to lunch, and then we went back to the hotel. And what else happened?
Got checked in, then we went downstairs to the ballroom, to the place they were going to have the ball that we were going to be at, and ran into the person who invited us and started working for her.
Yeah, we started working for her. It was fun. It was like being a part of something. We set tables, we cut ribbon, we talked to people. And it was fun being a part of that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I thought so. It kept us busy, and we were helping out, and the lady, told us if we hadn't helped, and we had met another couple that was there, retired Army colonel,
war something.
He was a combat infantry officer, and he was retired, and his wife helped also. So the 4 of us, they had 4 more pairs of hands, and they definitely needed 4 more pairs. Actually, they probably needed 10 more pairs of hands, but we just did 2.5 times the work of a normal person. So.
It was fun being a part of that and meeting this couple. And their names were Jim and Luann. Yeah. Anyway, so she is my idol. Oh my God, I want to grow up to be her. Really, there's not very many people that I want to be like, and she is one of them. She is stylish. She had this short bob hair, which my hair will never do unless I'm wearing a wig. And she was gray, and thick, and she had dyed it black under here, kind of Corella DeVille-ish, but not in a Corella DeVille.
No,
she looked like a really hot Corella DeVille.
Yeah, she's a very nice lady.
And she's been married as many times as I had, but she had something to show for it. She had a ring with 3 diamonds for her 3 husbands. And then she's married. And I said, oh my God, there's hope for me.
She married the 4th time. So
yeah, she married the 4th time. And then to make it even better, they're escapees from California.
Oh yeah, they
escaped.
They got out of California and went to Tennessee. And Jim, the colonel, told me that they had sat when they were leaving California. They were sat and decided they're trying to decide whether they go to Idaho, Texas, or Tennessee, and they picked Tennessee, and that's where they went. And they really liked Tennessee, although he was very much enamored with our lieutenant governor, or Ken Paxton, I guess.
He was in, because
he said that he was great. He was great. He really liked him,
But anyway, and so, they were just so fun. The best part about that is that they both had houses. They have 2 houses, and they spend some time at his house and then some time at her house, but they're married. And then sometimes when she says, I can't take it anymore, you go to your house and I'll go to my house. That is like my dream.
And they're married.
Yeah, that is my dream. I was like, oh my God, that's fabulous. And he's a missionary with some kind of patriot thing.
He writes prayers that for the Patriot Church. And I think you said he had written 57 prayers, and they pray these prayers at the congregation, so that he writes a prayer for somebody or something specific to happen.
Yeah.
So then the whole congregation will pray that prayer
and say it out loud.
Say it out loud for that person or that organization or whoever they're praying for. And
he's had some phenomenal results.
They get really good results.
I wish I could remember, because there was so much information.
Yes.
And he was saying that, you need to call on your angels. We don't call on our angels enough. I just know that my angels are very tired. They have to tag team. Okay, you're in next, And then Josh, what are you looking over there? My angels are tired.
Yes.
Oh my God, he said yes.
Instead of no.
Instead of no, it must be true. Okay. Anyway, and then let's see. Then the next day was the ball. Oh, we went over to another hotel. Some people were from the valley and our area. And they went to the Black Tie and Boots. It's the Texas ball, which is a little expensive too. But man, let's say they were partying down on Friday night, and there was other balls there, and people were having fun. It was a fun time.
And you saw a lot of people that were really dressed, very elegantly, because everything was black tie. So, people were, the men were all dressed up in tuxes and black tie, and some of them, looked like they were running for president themselves. And then, then of course the Texas crew all had on cowboy hats, which was fine.
But that wasn't their ball that Friday night.
But they were all dressed up, and they all had on their hats and stuff.
Yeah, so
they were raised in hell also.
They were raised. It was a sight to behold.
Yes.
So then we went to lunch with my other godson, who used to work at the 5-sided building, and now he flies people around in a G5, and he's a lieutenant colonel.
Yes. And
so he flies around people that don't know a lot about what they're doing, because they've been appointed generals, right?
But he was saying that most people don't understand how you get general officers. The 1-star general and the 2-star generals are actually
up from the ranks,
and they get promoted up to those spots. But anything over that is an appointed position. And so even and there's not a lot of them.
Well,
which is probably good.
There's more than there should be right now.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, but he's not a go along to get along kind of guy. But
no, he's not.
He's not. And
we're not going to mention his name.
And we're not. Anyway, but we went to lunch, and then we went to look at what was it? We were going to go downtown and look at all the people that were protesting.
All the protesters.
Which there wasn't that many.
No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
I think, it's too cold for them to get, you're going to have to pay me more if I stand out there in the cold.
Yeah. And there were some anti-Trump protesters here and there, but there wasn't as many as I expected to be. I was hoping that we'd get to see something really wild and crazy, but we didn't.
We saw one sign. We saw one sign that we're driving around, and it was a handwritten sign with a black Sharpie that said, "Keep uteruses," and then there was a third word with a U in it, and we drove by and we couldn't find it, and so my godson goes, "Keep uteruses uterizing," and then we started laughing.
And we cracked up because that was pretty funny.
That was pretty
keep
funny.
Uteruses uterizing.
And then, it went keep penises penisizing. I mean, we just kept going on and on.
We just did not understand what that meant, but it was
was pretty funny. So
I'm definitely using that one.
So then we went to the dance that night, and we had Tom Holman. Yeah, Tom Holman, who is the border czar. And let me tell you, that boy's the real deal.
He is a no nonsense guy. The first thing he said when he got up there is, "I know there's a lot of people that don't like me, and frankly, I don't give a shit." That's exactly what he said, word
he goes,
for word.
"I don't care if they like me or not.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do a job." I'm like, okay, this is our guy right here.
Anyway, but he was all that. And then who was the other guy?
And Larry Elder was there with us, and I got a chance to talk to him. He was a very, very pleasant man, very smart man.
You got to talk to him?
Yes. Well, when he was coming in and I was doing security.
Oh, that.
Remember?
Yeah. Okay. So you were doing.
So there's a couple of good stories on that.
The security detail got stuck at the airport. And since, we were helping set up, Mike and the colonel, when they're tuxes, and Mike had on his black hat. So they stood at the front, keeping people out that shouldn't be there. And I said, "Look menacing." And they were standing there. And they did a good job of looking menacing. But
the lady we were helping, she comes over and sits. I mean, it's 4:30 and they're going to start letting people in at 5. So she comes over at 4:30 and says, "The security detail is stuck at the airport." I know there's going to be something else to this statement. I just don't want to hear it. She says, "So I need you and the colonel to run upstairs, put your tuxes on real fast, come back down and be security." I said, "When do you want me back down here?" She goes, 4:45. I go, "It's 4:30. And the elevators aren't that fast,
Anyway, so
that's what we did.
They did, and it made you be a part of something. And then we had Sheriff Mark Lamb.
Sheriff Mark Lamb, and that was the other part of the.
Mike had some really good stories because he dressed just like Sheriff Mark Lamb. He had black hat, red vest, tuxedo.
How did I know he was going to be dressed like me? Although that's what he always wears. I had no idea. So the first couple that comes up to go in, the guy comes up and he goes, "Oh, I am so glad to meet you. Will you take a picture with my wife?" And I'm sitting there thinking, why does this guy want me to take a picture with his wife at where you go in at? So I was like, "Well, yeah, I mean, can I put my arm around her and all that?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's just, don't get too friendly. And I know I'll be good. I promise." And then we take the picture and he's like, "Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it." And off they go. And I'm thinking, well, that was a weird conversation.
And then
when I see Mark Lamb, I go, "Oh, they thought I was that dude."
And this guy is big.
He's
guy.
like 6'6" and 275. And I looked like the small version of him.
Yeah, he looked like mini me. Anyway, but we had fun. And then the next day, since they moved the inauguration inside because it was cold, and it was probably other stuff too.
It was other stuff.
I'm telling
you, it was a security deal.
Well, because now that you've been in security for 5 minutes, now you now that
There was threats.
there was threats. I mean, that you were aware of that we didn't know anything about. Whatever. Anyway, so we watched it on a big screen there, and that was kind of fun because people were cheering at the same time, booing at the same time, and it was a lot of fun.
It was the people we were at the ball with the previous night. And it was, the same 150, 200 people, whatever it was. So it was a lot of like-minded people watching Vice President Harris walk in, everybody boo, just that kind of stuff.
And then you heard,
yeah,
na 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 na, hey hey, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, it was hilarious.
But nobody was.
It was
awful.
funny.
It was just a fun. And then we went over to dinner to another godson, the first one that picked us up, and played with his kid and had mashed potatoes, meatloaf, and green beans. One of my favorites.
One of my favorites too.
And so we had a really good time. And then
it was great.
Yeah. Then we came home.
The flights were awful. And I say they're always awful these days because the seats are so small and there's no leg room, and every flight is full. So you can't bring this on, you can't bring that on, you got to check it. We only
left one bag.
We didn't have to check anything. The last flight that I was on before I went this place, when I had to check my bag at the gate, they lost it and I didn't see it for 4 days. So, which was bad because I went to a funeral and all my clothes were in it. So I just wore the same clothes for 4 days.
Well, they were dead.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, but we had fun. And then we got to Dallas, right out of DC, quick, no problem, on time, everything. And then we get to DFW where there's always weather. And we had our flight canceled due to weather in McAllen, Texas. I don't think I've ever in all of my life ever been canceled in McAllen. Ever. And I've flown in here for 60 plus years. And I've never had it canceled. I thought that was pretty interesting. So anyway, so what else can I tell you? That's about it. Wait.
What do you think of what Trump's done since he's been in office? Give us your opinions.
Our opinions is I'm amazed at the man's stamina. I love the fact that he included when he was signing the some of the executive orders, he did it in front of 20,000 people.
And then throws the pins into the audience,
the pins
like
and
their guitar picks.
It was great.
At a concert.
And I'm just saying that people wanted action, and whether you are a pro-Trump, non-Trump, you cannot say that he is not doing what he said he was going to do.
Well, he's trying to get things done, and you see that. I mean, I see comments online about, I thought he was going to reduce the price of eggs. I was like, first of all, he ain't even been there a week. It won't be a week till tomorrow. And none of that stuff happens quickly. The way you reduce prices
fuel
on things is, by bringing the cost of transportation down and fuel down. That's how you do that. You
just can't go and say,
"Oh,
hello, Mr.
Squeeze
Egg."
the chicken's neck and make him shit out more eggs. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. I've been around chickens before. It doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. And plus, they just had this huge rash of bird flu. They've had to kill over 1 million chickens.
But there was something weird about that. Because there was a bird flu in Louisiana and they killed all the chickens in California because it could get there. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we don't know all that kind of stuff. We're not privy to that. Just like we didn't get invited to go into the rotunda. There was 200 tickets or something. That was it.
200 tickets, but I did see that Zuckerberg and Bezos got to go in. Of course, they both donated $1 million, so I understand. But
well, but interesting.
The donors were there.
But that's okay.
Well, it doesn't bother me at all.
But I'm impressed that he's doing what he said he's going to do. I just read,
and he unbanned TikTok for now.
Yeah, he's giving it a reprieve. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and there's a lot
Well,
of
you know,
things.
I have something to say, you know, because he said he was going to do that last time. We're going to get rid of TikTok. But my mom had a most brilliant saying, and I don't give my mom much credit, but when she had something, it was usually pretty good. She said, "Wise men change their minds. Fools never." Isn't that good? And so if you present something, I'm hope I'm like that. You know, if I don't agree on something or I agree something and then somebody proves me, look, this is not the way it is. I'm hoping I'm, you know, wise enough to see the proof, to see the facts so I can change my mind. If you just don't change your mind at all, even though you've seen facts and facts and facts, I've been that before. You know, when my second husband had the girl with him in my bathing suit and you tried to tell me about it.
And the boat.
And the boat. And
the pictures were in the trunk of the car.
And the picture, all that. Yeah. But, you know, I was like, I was a fool. Okay. And so I'm trying not to do that anymore.
Well, I think that's smart of you.
But I think he's doing a good job. I think Melania is going to probably be a lot more involved now because she doesn't have to stay home and take care of Barron. I mean, that's a big deal.
Well, I think, and it's wise for him to take her to California to meet the people who've had their houses burned. And it was wise for him to take her to North Carolina because of that disaster for those people. It's a good idea for him to take her places like that because she seems a lot more empathetic. You know, a lot of times.
Do you think he took her, or did she want to go?
Well, either one. She didn't get to go as much as before, I think, but now she's been going more. And I like to see her out and going and meeting people and stuff because I think she's very likable and the people like her a lot.
She looks good in anything she puts on.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. So, I think the people really enjoy seeing her. And I know there was a lady there that spoke to her in one of the languages that she speaks. Because she speaks 5 or 6 languages.
So does Barron.
Yeah. And talked to her and everything, was telling her how great it was that they were there and all that kind of stuff. And I like to see people interact with her because I think they like her a lot. And it always helps him if they like her as well, or maybe they like
behind every
exactly.
successful man.
Better than, She's so much better than Dr. Jill Biden.
Yeah.
Well, Whoopi thought she was a real doctor. Medical doctor.
Yeah, she's not that kind of doctor. She's just a PhD.
No.
She would make a great surgeon general.
And Josh speaks. He's up from the dead.
Wow, that's
a
the
great
line we've ever gotten out of him.
I know. Anyway, well, my Helen Keller interpreter, Sean, has told us that we're cutting this short because obviously your attention spans and our attention spans are much shorter than we anticipated. And I'm not Joe Rogan yet. And chances are I don't want to be Joe Rogan because that 3 hours of my life every day is a killer. So we're just going to go short and sweet. So I want to say thank you for everybody that listens. Please ask me questions. Put it on there. I have been getting some comments, but ask a question. You guys ask questions. I'm dying to answer some questions. Does anybody have a question now? You have a question?
Actually.
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner? No, I don't have a question.
You don't have any questions?
Well, I've known you for a long time. I know a whole lot about you. I don't have to ask any questions.
Anyway, and so please make comments. I want to tell you about hide and seek. If you're listening local, we still have hide and seek out here on Russell Road, and we want you to come and store your treasures with us. Marty's there, and it's such a beautiful facility, and we want to help you clean out your garages. And what else can I tell you? This has been wonderful experience for me and Mike to go do the inauguration.
Inauguration.
And even though we didn't get to go and brave the cold because it wasn't there, it was still the people that we met were
Yes.
interesting. Everybody has a story. We met the handler of Tom Holman.
Tom Holman and Larry Elder and Mark Lamb, all of them.
Yeah, and they met her, and she is just incredible. These people got into this business accidentally, she said, and our friend that we helped do this, she volunteered to help the guy that was doing it, and we met some incredible people.
What we don't know in our daily lives is how many people are walking around out there who are involved with politics, very deeply involved with politics, and whether they work for somebody who solicits money or collects money or however you want to call that, looks for contributions for political action groups or something like that,
or handles speaking engagements,
or handles speaking engagements, or puts on these parties and stuff. But there's a lot of people out there that do this, and sometimes there are people that do things politically local in their communities, and then they get involved with something bigger, and they kind of move up, and they're working with something even bigger and bigger groups. I didn't realize there was that many people out there doing that. But when you go and you see all these people, like Jane said, they all have a story about how they got involved with politics. And that's how a lot of things get done. Congress doesn't do shit. I don't know if I can say that, but they don't do anything. They haven't done anything in a long time. They collect their paychecks, and if they can get a bill passed where they can slip themselves in a raise, they also do that. Other than that, I don't know that they do a whole lot unless they're forced to do something. They argue back and forth, and they fight about this, that, and the other. And my theory about the government these days is, because you always see them say, well, we need, appropriations so we can fix this problem or that problem. They don't fix any problems. What they do is they create problems, and then they put those problems out there for the public to see. And then they say, we need to fix these problems.
Well, like Jim with the people in North Carolina, was it North Carolina?
Yeah.
They took trailers. Remember, he said that they took a lot of these little trailers up there so people could have places to stay.
Yeah.
And they got them apartments.
Yeah, I mean the community helping community, and that's really how things get done, is community helping community. I have a problem with words sometimes. I'm very sorry.
I was going to give an example of a problem they created was, and this has been a double-edged sword and a lot of fighting back and forth, and I understand both sides of it, is the deal with the student loans. So when we went to school, when Jane and I were in college, the tuition was $4 a semester hour. And anybody who's paid for college since then is like, oh my God, how could it be $4 a semester hour? It didn't get expensive until the government started saying they would guarantee the loans. Then the universities saw dollar signs, and the price of an education went up and up and up and up, to a point where these kids are borrowing money that'll take them years to pay back. Mm-hmm. When I got my third and fourth degrees that I picked up at one of the universities that I went to, that was about $75,000. It took me more than 10 years to pay that off. And by the time I paid it off, it was well over $100,000. The price of education went up when the government got involved. So they created a problem, and then they decided that the way to fix the problem was to take the money from taxpayers and pay off loans for these students. Well, I understand both sides of it. I don't think you should take taxpayer money from the plumber who doesn't have an education but goes out there and cleans up everybody's toilets, waste, that he shouldn't have to pay the loans off for a kid that, just went to school and got his degree. So now he can go to medical school, or now he can go to law school or something like that. This guy shouldn't have to pay for that. But also see the kids side of it. It didn't used to be this expensive. It wasn't this expensive until the government got involved.
So moral of the story is
they made a mess of the thing, and they thought, well, we made a mess of this, we should fix it. But how do they fix it? They don't generate any income.
but now we're going to have the external revenue service.
So, well, if that comes about, maybe that's a smarter idea. But they decided, well, we'll just take the money we take from the citizenry and we'll pay this off. That's their fix. They created the problem. I think we should make Nancy Pelosi pay for it. She's made millions off of her inside stock deals with her husband.
She would never do that.
She's a...
Now. Anyway, I think we've done our 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, you don't want me to keep going.
I know. Calm down. I think you need to breathe. Here, I think you need to breathe.
That's an example.
That's good content.
That's,
Are you giving him a
He
compliment?
did. He's being so
I'm
nice.
already thinking I'm going to chop it up in my head and put it on stuff. You would have good content too, of course.
I would have.
No,
I
you
would
do.
have if
said
I
you
only
do-
had a brain.
You do have good content.
Anyway, but thank you. And Mike got wound up, but you can get really wound up going to these inaugurations because everybody's so excited about it. And people want to solve
It
problems.
was a great experience.
It was a great experience. And what else can I tell you? Please subscribe, like, share, and see us on TikTok. I might have to dance for y'all again. So see you
God.
later.